Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome to Question Reality. I'm your host, Priscilla Leona, and we are coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, our show will help you to question your career reality. And this show is for you if you are considering a career in the entertainment industry. Our guest on the show will provide you with advice on how and what it takes to successfully pursue a career in the entertainment industry. Now, the guests on our show include Emmy winners, Grammy winners, Tony Award winners, reality TV stars, producers, directors, actors, singers, comedians, casting directors, talent managers, screenwriters, novelists. The list goes on and on and on and on. Just a ton of people. They just keep coming and coming and coming. Basically, if they're working professionally in show business, we are going to have them on this show to give you entertainment career advice. And what we do is we make sure that our guests are at different stages of their careers, from professional, obviously, to beginner. We have beginners on once in a while because we want to make sure we hear about the trials and the tribulations of each individual job. And that means that we'll definitely have someone on the show that'll be able to help you with your show business career questions. Now, you can either listen or download any of our past shows because we have had so many wonderful professions and things you wouldn't even think about that you can do in the entertainment industry. And the way for you to find out about that is going to our archive page on latalkradio.com, on the website latalkradio.com, and just go to the Channel 1 link. We have Channel 1 and Channel 2. We are on Channel 1. And look for Question Reality. And this will take you directly to our archive page. We've been on since 2008, so we have had a ton of guests for you to listen to that would really be able to help your career, again, no matter what type of career it is in the entertainment industry. Our shows are also available to listen to for free on iTunes under the podcast section and on Stitcher.com. So, again, just type in Question Reality Radio in the search box. Now, if you want to find out about future guests, you have to go to a totally different website. That is our official website for Question Reality, and it's called questionrealityradioshow.com. questionrealityradioshow.com. And that shows all of the guests that will be on for this year. We are always booked 6 months to a year in advance. So if you want to come on to our show and be a guest, if you're working professionally in the business or know someone, please go to questionrealityradioshow.com and go to the contact page and submit. And we would love to take a look at what you would like to promote and come on the show to do, and we will get back to you. I also encourage you to download our free app for Android or iPhone. And that way you'll be able to listen to all of the other exciting and informative shows. We've got a ton of shows that would be interesting. Some of them are really, really cool shows to listen to, like Dancing with Ghosts, Haunting Playground. We have The Writer's Block. We have Wake Up Hollywood, The Tastemasters, Sheena Metal Experience, The Concierge Coaches, Empowering Your Life, Combat Radio, Diversity American Style, Naked Radio, Soul Sisters Radio. It goes, I'm telling you, they have got some fantastic shows. So please go and check them out. Again, latalkradio.com, and download the app. It's on the right-hand side at the bottom of the page. There you go. So, as always, we have a fantastic, wonderful, amazing, marvelous, magnificent guest for you today. He is a country music Airplay chart topper, Richard Lynch. And I want you to go to his website now and check it out. It's richardlynchband.com. That's RICHARD, Lynch, LYNCHBAND.com. Richard Lynch Band. Say that 3 times. Richard Lynch Band. Oh, I actually can say it 3 times. And he's also on Facebook under Richard Lynch Band, Twitter, Richard Lynch Band, and YouTube. Now, again, I want to point this out right away, which I do every time I see this. Richard has made a very, very smart decision in his marketing and branding, because do you see how he has RichardLynchBand.com for his website? He's on Facebook, Richard Lynch Band. He's on Twitter, Richard Lynch Band. So many people make the mistake of trying to get cute and fluffy, and they want to have, for example, JohnSmith.com, and then they'll have JohnWayneSmith.net, and then they'll have John Wayne, I'm Hot and Happening on Facebook, or Just John on Twitter, and you have so many different names, and you forget that branding and marketing is so important, and you have to stick to one thing. Stick to it. Usually you want it to be your name, okay? Because that's the whole thing, to get your name out there. So please keep it consistent all across the board so you can start getting people to remember who you are. Now, around 5:30, we are going to be playing Richard's new single. It's called We're American Proud. And yes, I am. And yes, we are American proud around here. So I'm excited to hear the song. Actually, I already heard it. It's fantastic and lovely, but I'm glad to hear it again. It's very inspirational, very motivational, and you're going to love it. So around 5:30, not exactly 5:30, it could be 5:25, 5:30, it could be 5:35. You just have to stay with us and see when the excitement begins. Now let me tell you a little bit about Richard. Richard's music has spanned 3 decades with country hits and chart toppers in the world of traditional country music. And his music is reminiscent of the classics, the classics that started it all. And some of the classic country musicians like Conway Twitty, Keith Whitley, Waylon Jennings, George Jones, Hank Williams. And so that's his style. That's his thing. That's what he's bringing to the table. His latest single, We're American Proud, that we're going to hear around the 5:30 mark, it was recently released on country radio stations, and it is quickly climbing the country music charts. It's just climbing, and it's rocking and rolling and country climbing. So without further ado, let's find out what's going on. Welcome, Richard Lynch.
Well, hey, thank you for having me. What a pleasure to be with you all.
Well, most certainly, Rich. Oh, now, see, I love your name so much, I'm going to be saying Richard Lynch. I don't know if I'm going to be saying Richard, because I just love Richard Lynch. It just flows off the tongue. Richard Lynch, right?
Oh,
it sounds like a
thank
political.
you.
It sounds like a political candidate name. I don't know. Hey, I want to talk real quick about. I'm excited about We're American Proud, and as I was just saying, it was recently released on the country radio stations, and it is climbing, Richard, climbing its way into the clouds. Tell us what's going on
cool?
with the song. I love it. Tell us what's happening.
I love it. Well, I'm a country music second generation. By that, my dad was a great country music singer, entertainer in and around the tri-state area, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. So I grew up listening to that great traditional music, and I knew at a young age that that's something that I wanted to do. And the ripe old age of 8, my dad and my mom took me out where my dad was playing, and he motioned to my mom, "Hey, get this boy up on the stage here." And so I got up on the stage and sang a song with my dad and his band, and did an old Buck Owens song from way back in the day, and it was called I Got a Tiger by the Tail. And the crowd response was amazing, and I loved it, and I was bit pretty early by the country music bug. So been doing it ever since.
I got a tiger by the tail. I like it. I don't think I ever heard it, but I like that. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to YouTube it, Richard, after the show. Now, I understand that you actually live the life that you sing about, and that's what gives you the edge as a country singer-songwriter, because you're actually a very hard-working blue-collar man. I understand that you design and build amazing barns, and that you're also a farmer. I'm like, what is going on? How do you find time to write and perform? I mean, being a farmer is a really, really hard occupation, long hours. I mean, how do you find time to think about lyrics and songs?
Well, it's amazing you think about it. I grew up on a farm, and I've been around a farm all my life. And the last 15 years, I've owned my own farm. And it's difficult to shuffle all the commitments and all the different dates. And so, you mentioned the barn building business. I can't do that at all anymore. That I had to have a reality check, and I cannot not do that anymore. So the music has taken a hold of there to where I don't do that anymore. But if you own a farm, you're still working, and I got plenty of farm chores. But fortunately, I've got a brother and a neighbor and different folks that we can depend on to help out when I'm doing the tours all over the place. And that's been a lot here lately. So I'm very fortunate that I grew up in a country atmosphere and get to play real country music. It's been a blessing for me.
Now, you do have like a really nice country accent. Where is the accent from? Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in southwestern Ohio, and that's where I currently live right now. But my dad and all my parents and so forth had an eastern Kentucky upbringing, and so there was some Appalachian type of twang and southern twang there from that area. That kind of comes second nature for me. But if you love what you do and you're around a good bunch of folks that appreciate your music, buddy, it's not a job; it's a blast for me. So.
Yeah, because your accent is really like a really nice country accent. When I hear your accent, I don't think Ohio. I think more like, I don't know, Texas or Oklahoma or something like that. That's a really nice, deep country accent. So I'm sure that adds the richness to the actual song. Sometimes people sing country music and they don't have any country accent at all. Not that they can't sound country, but it's weird to me. It's like, you got to have the country accent for me to do the country music. I don't know. I just kind of associate it. Now, you're performing, Richard, hundreds of events and shows a year all across the country. How do you find time to be a performer and a family man and a businessman? How do you do the time management? Does somebody do it for you, or have you been able to get that together for yourself and be able to do it?
Well, I've been pretty fortunate. I've got a wife that supports and promotes everything I do, and a management team in Nashville that really has my best interest at heart. And we have enough time now to where we can schedule out these show dates around the country. I just got back from a 6-week tour in Texas, and so, that maybe that little Texas accent might be rubbing off there, but it's pretty. I knew there was something Texas related to you. I know when you go to visit other places and they have accents, like I lived in England for 6 months, and I came back and I was sporting a proper British accent. People are like, what the hell? You were only there 6 months. It's not like you lived there for 6 years or 16 years. But I was like doing the accent, so I can see where it's accentuated for sure with you. I really do. Oh, you know what? You brought up a very important topic that I want to address when you said, I got a team in Nashville that kind of helps you with that. Can you tell aspiring musicians at what point do you know in your career, you know what, it's time for me to get a team? I feel that you should get a team or try to get a team, even if the team's just your mother or a sibling or a friend, when you start out on any journey, because you really do need support. You really need to have someone to handle the business aspect, because the
the artistry and the craft really needs to be focused on, and you need somebody to be able to do the business side. But for you personally, when did you decide, you know what, this is getting really overwhelming, I need to put a team together? When do you know that? When do you know that as a person? What advice would you say that you would? Well,
I would first say for all the youngsters out there, and not necessarily the youngsters, the folks that want to, be in the business for some time. Sometimes a little bit of self-determination goes a long way. But by that I mean, if you're in the business and you have to come to terms with what you really are. I love a lot of different musics out there and a lot of different genres, but, that doesn't necessarily mean I can sing those genres or I do very well at those genres. So come to terms and come to grips with what you are. By that I mean I'm a traditional country singer, country writer, country musician, and that's the direction I want to go. And there's millions and millions of folks out there that really love that traditional sound, and I came to grips with that. I, even though it's not necessarily played a lot on mainstream, some now, more and more so lately, but that's the direction I want to go, and realize that, it's an uphill battle with that, if you got mainstream radio doing other direction, but come to grips with whatever direction you want to go. Don't take no for an answer, and find people that believe in you. The team can be your spouse, can be your mom, can be your brother, can be your neighbor, but they got to believe in you, and they got to believe in the ability to where they can connect with other folks that want to hear your genre of music. And this is really the best advice I can possibly give anybody.
That's really great advice. Again, you don't have to have a ton of money to be able to go out and afford to get, a talent manager and this and that. Just somebody who has when you start out, basic administrative skills, are able to put a little flyer together for you, or able to post for you on social media, which is very, very important because you have to have a social imprint, a digital imprint on social media. That is so important. And a lot of the old school, and you know what I'm talking about now, Richard, a lot of the old school musicians, they're having a little problem with this digital social media footprint that they have to have. But it is absolutely vital in promoting and maintaining and advancing your career in any field. So let's talk to you about this. How do you do this and focus on creating your music at the same time? Because you got to have your upcoming shows on Facebook, and you got to have it on Twitter, and you got to have it on Instagram, and you got to be constantly, you could spend a whole day posting your stuff. How do you handle that personally?
Well, like I said, I'm very fortunate. My wife and our management team really takes that direction completely, and it frees me up to and be inspired to write songs. And I can sit down and write songs, but when I'm motivated or inspired by something that I see or I've lived or I've talked to about and experienced, that's the best way for me to write a true song. So by me being able to, let Randy Hayford from Twang Thang Music do his thing, all the promotions, all the different things that he does for me, and people like Michael Stover who really reach out to different folks and radio stations around the world, that has enabled me to really, grab my pen, my paper, and write what I'm feeling and be inspired every day. And so I know how fortunate that is, that I am in a position where a lot of folks are looking out for me, but once again, you got to have a whole bunch of dedication to get yourself there.
Yeah. But what if people are not fortunate like you and have a team? What advice would you give them of how they can possibly do it? Because I have seen, and this is very sad, Richard, but I have seen young musicians absolutely give up and just go get a day job because they couldn't handle that, between, learning their craft, which, as a youngster, you gotta take the lessons, and then they want to write the songs, and then they just can't handle doing that and then having to post and do the administrative part. They can't handle, they got to post this on Facebook and they come to my show. And you know how it is trying to sell tickets or trying to get people to come to your show. And a lot of them I have seen, it was too overwhelming and they just gave up and they just went and, started working a day's job, which breaks my heart. But, you got to have money. You got to pay the bills. You got to wake up and smell the bills. So what can we do, Richard, to encourage them to try to hang in there? I mean, it's hard, right? But you got to promote yourself. You got to promote yourself, because who's going to come out and see you, Richard, if you don't do it or you don't have anybody? What do you do in a case like that?
That's where you need to, find a friend, find some like-minded neighbors, find some like-minded folks that you're in and around with. And, you can collaborate with a lot of different areas. First of all, if you guys are friends and, if you're in an area where you can kind of drive together and help save gas, or if you're in a situation where you guys can, get an apartment and save some money on that, or just be in a situation to where they come as a team. And that's really a hard thing these days to sell, because the teamwork, and especially if folks are really writing and they're excelling in what they do, sometimes they don't necessarily want to team up, but they realize at some point a team is a whole lot better approach and getting to your ultimate goal than sometimes just being by yourself. And you can be really inspired by having a team, somebody with you too, to write with. And so there's so many advantages just to surround yourself by good, like-minded folks.
I agree. So there you go. Find a friend. You don't have family members or you can't afford people to be on your team. Go find a friend. One friend can be a team. Now, Richard, you're backed by a group of hand-selected country musicians, the Richard Lynch Band, obviously. You perform a wide variety of music for the true traditionalists, and I think that ranges from pure country, western swing, rockabilly, outlaw country, which I don't know what that is. You're going to have to tell me, and hard drive honky-tonk. Now, first of all, let's give some credit to who's in your band, the names of the people, what instruments they play, how long you've been together, and the very important question is, how do you keep a band together? I get that question all the time, tons of emails when I have bands come on and they want to know, how do you keep a band together? Because, look, the Beatles, they were on together. Honestly, you would think they'd been together for like decades. They were only together a couple years. There are only a couple bands that really have stood the test of time. So that ultimately is the end question. But let's start with who's in your band, what instruments they play, etc.
Well, I got a drummer that's second to none. His name is Chris Oliver. Comes from a little town called Carlisle, Ohio. Been with me for 21 years. That's a long time.
Woo!
Got a bass player. Got a bass player that's been playing with me now for 33 years. His name is John Haney.
Oh my God! You guys are like the Rolling Stones here, right?
And it's unique in the sense that not everything is all rosy. We all, especially if you're out on a 6-week tour, you tend to get irritated by each other, but we love each other. We depend on each other, and so we all have to work together. And I got a steel player. His name is Doug Golds, has been playing with me for 19 years. He comes from Richmond, Indiana. Got the guitar player that's just been with me about 6 months now, but he is well established, been around the business for many, many years. His name is Tim Bennington, and he comes from a little town in Adams County, southwestern Ohio. And got a piano player that's been with me for about 7 years now. His name is Jerry Hughes, and he comes also from around the Middletown, Ohio area. An incredible piano player. Every one of these guys are just dedicated musicians, have a love and a passion for what we do. And, we just kind of shake things off and go for it because we have a big goal that we're ultimately trying to get to. And everybody sees that we're getting to that goal now. And so, we're just working hard at that and making it go. And
I don't know.
It's just great to see something happen.
It must, Richard. I think it's you. I think you're the peanut butter and jelly of the band because you are keeping your sandwich together, if I may say so. I mean, that is so unheard of to be able to play with the same musicians and have a band for that long. That is, you're doing something right. I think it's you. And I can just tell by your personality that you're a really easygoing kind of guy. And, that's important. You can't be, I think the bands that break off very easily are the ones that are led by the dictators, the people that are really, they got a big ego and they're arrogant and pompous and rude and they want to be the star. So I think that you're a real team player. A little peanut butter and jelly, that's what I'm saying. And that's how you're able to keep your band together, because I see it all the time. Bands come and go. It's very, very hard to keep bands together. And I'm always asked, what are these secrets? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm not in a band. I have no idea, but I'll ask for you. Richard Lynch will tell you. No question for you, Richard. I do not know what this is. I have never heard of outlaw country. What is outlaw country music?
Well, outlaw country kind of started in the 1970s. A guy named Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and people like David Allen Coe and some of those folks that really, Johnny Paycheck, that had the edgier kind of more, more straight to the point type of outlaw music. And I've always loved, that style of just, the straight ahead, straight, getting to the point country music. So that's kind of my definition of outlaw country. But I don't necessarily know that there's still, that much of a difference today from there. There's so many different varieties of music today, and country music is really diverse. If you think about it, if you've got a hard driving honky-tonk song on an album, and then the next song is a soft, sweet ballad with a great story, or if you got a western swing type of song that just makes your feet dance and carry on, that's the kind of music that I connect with and love to play, because it don't get boring. It's something that you just love, you feel, and there's nothing better to be on a stage and watch the folks connect with what you're doing, see their feet tapping and their hands clapping and singing along. Hey, you're onto something then.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be so many different names for country music. Like, for example, I'm a pop person, like pop. So if you say pop music, you know exactly what it is. It's kind of like pop, disco. I know what it is. Sure. But if you get into like honky tonk and outlaw country and rockabilly and western swing, if there was a test, I would totally fail the test. I could not name one particular song that would be like, if they said, what's the most famous song for outlaw country? I would have no idea. So I'm going to test you. What's the most famous song that would be outlaw country, as opposed to what's a famous song that would be honky tonk? Just to give us examples who don't know country.
Outlaw country, probably the most famous outlaw country song of all time would be Waylon and Willie, Good-Hearted Woman, or David Allen Coe, You Never Call Me By My Name. Those are two traditional outlaw country songs that kind of resonate with people.
Okay, what about Honky Tonk, a famous song that even a disco person would know?
Well, a honky-tonk song would be something like either from Hank Williams Sr. to an old honky-tonk, all the way to a more recent person like Joe Diffie.
Oh, you're like You're Cheating Hard? Is that honky-tonk from Hank Williams?
Yeah, that's very similar to honky-tonk. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I know that one. Yes, my grandmother used to love that song. That's the only reason I know it. Oh, no, your band's single, A Better Place, that was written by Billy Yates and Trent Tomlinson, and it was also it was produced by Yates. It reached #1 on the New Music Weekly AM/FM National Airplay charts. You reached #1 on Indie World, and you were #1 for 31 weeks on the Root Music Report True Country Singles charts, and it's climbing on Music Row Country chart. So that's amazing. Congratulations. Yay, 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 yay. If I had a gong, I would do a gong. Now, this is amazing. What opportunities have come to you from this musical climb on the charts? What's going on as a result of that? How's it escalated you?
It showed me and many folks around the country and around the world that there is a need and a huge interest in traditional country music. And the opportunities are landing on my lap almost all the time. We're working so many places around the country. As a matter of fact, tomorrow morning I'm leaving and I'm doing a radio show on WSM Nashville, the longest running Nashville country music station in the world, and they're going to do a debut tomorrow evening on my show, on their show, a new album. So, and then I'm going to Austin, Texas, and playing a huge music festival there Wednesday, and then I'm going to Daytona Beach Friday and Saturday and Sunday to play the Bike Week in Daytona. So many wonderful experiences and opportunities have happened just because I've had a good song that people want to connect with. I'm so fortunate.
Oh my God, that is exciting. I know I saw that you had an upcoming Texas tour. What parts and places? Is it just that one place, or are you going to be all over Texas?
Well, we just finished that tour. We're going back to Texas Wednesday. We were in South Texas from the Rio Grande Valley all the way in Brownsville, all the way up through McAllen, going towards the upper part of San Antonio, just all over South Texas. Had a blast. And so we're heading back that way.
Right. Now, who books you for these things? How do you go about? I mean, do you just wake up and somebody just hands you a schedule and says, "Okay, this is what you're doing," or how does it work? How do you get booked at these places?
In the Texas scene, we went down and had a mutual friend about 5 years ago, invited me down, and I got up and sang with his band and met a few folks and kind of showed them what I could do acoustically and told the folks about my band and my music stuff. And one guy took a chance on me, and lo and behold, it really it exploded from that one gentleman being in the Rio Grande Valley, and now we're playing, like a 6-week tour down there every January and February. We go down there when it's cold and nasty everywhere else, and stay where it's 85 and 90 degrees. That's not hard to take.
Oh, I know. Being in California, I'm getting spoiled. I don't know what Ohio weather feels like anymore. Oh, my gosh. Well, hey, I'm excited. Congratulations for that Texas tour. My goodness, that's wonderful. You get to eat all the real steak. Texas steak. Those damn steaks are as big as, they're huge. They're like as big. You get like a side of a cow. They just throw a whole side of a cow right on your damn plate when you eat in Texas, I heard. I've never been, but my husband, he said, my God, I have never had a steak like you have in Texas. So looking forward to that one day. So you're very lucky to be able to be eating. I don't know, you might be a vegetarian or a vegan, so I apologize if I insulted you with the big steak thing. Hey, you know what, Richard? It is that time. It is time to play your song. Oh my God. Now, as promised, we are going to play the single. It's called We're American Proud, and it was recently released on the country radio stations, and again, it's quickly climbing the musical charts. Real quick, what's this particular song about? What was your motivation or inspiration for the song?
Well, I'm really not political. I have my own opinion. Everybody does, and they should. But I want music to kind of put us all back together. We're all Americans, and I want some people to realize that there's a lot of folks out there that need to hear that. And, hard-working truck drivers, hard-working soldiers, hard-working farmers. And there's a guy upstairs we need to keep in mind, the good Lord above. So we can all put us together and make us all Americans. I think that's a good direction to go for a great country song.
Oh, well, what? I agree. I'm not political either, but I just say, why can't we get along? My goodness. We got to be more like Richard Lynch, the peanut butter and jelly of the world. Let's all mix and mingle and make a good sandwich. Okay, sweetie, let's listen to We're American Proud.
Got American pride.
Got American pride.
We stand side by side.
Side by side.
We talk clear and loud. American proud. From California to Maine,
California to Maine.
our freedom's the same. From the backwoods to big towns, we're American proud. Here's to our truck driving pals. They put in the miles. All our farmers and friends, whose day never ends. With our soldiers in mind,
With our soldiers in mind.
they leave no one behind.
No one behind.
To God we keep our heads bowed. We're American proud. Look at the pride in our eyes. There's no way to disguise. No, you can't keep us down. We're American proud. Here's to our truck driving pals. They put in the miles. All our farmers and friends, whose day never ends. With our soldiers in mind,
With our soldiers in mind.
they leave no one behind.
No one behind.
To God we keep our heads bowed. We're American proud.
God bless America.
We're American proud. We're American proud.
Woo! My God, Richard! That is so catchy! Oh my
Thank you.
It's so insightful. It's emotionally striking. That guitar. Oh, I love that guitar. It's really like the driving force in the music. I mean, really great job. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
We need more songs like that. We really do. Not enough people are writing music like that. I think that if artists would write more songs like that, I think it would help unite this country. I really do. I just wish that other people would do that. Maybe that could be something that would be a goal of yours, to write more songs like that. You never know. One song is all it takes to really kind of catch on and kind of bring us back to where we need to be, and that's all together as a team.
You bet.
Right. So I love it. My God. So is that available on iTunes, Amazon, and all the major online music retailers? Where can we get that song?
If you just mentioned that, if you go to iTunes, richardlynchband.com, and you'll scroll down and see all the different various ways to get it. But yeah, iTunes and all the social medias of the music world is pushing that one pretty hard right now, doing pretty well. And just go to my social website, richardlynchband.com, and you'll find all my music there.
Oh, now am I right in that you've recently also released a single duet with a country music star, Ronnie McDowell, called Love Tattoo, which I think is also like a military tribute that's raising funds for your nonprofit organization, the Love Tattoo Foundation. Is that right? Is that information correct?
That's very true. And Ronnie McDowell, he was a huge country star in the 70s, 80s, and he still is. It's just not currently being played as much. But the gentleman did a 3-tour tour of duty in Vietnam, and that's really impressive for me because I love the folks that serve and serve military, and the fact that he loves country music, and we did a song to kind of show our appreciation for these guys and gals that put it all on the line for us. To me, that's about as graceful and appreciative as we can be to show these folks how much we appreciate them.
And the song is called Love Tattoo. What is it about? It's a military tribute, but what does it have, a specific message or?
a lot of folks wonder what's a love tattoo. Well, it has nothing to do with ink. The tattoo came back either a psychological scar from being in battle, or they were shot up, and that's their love tattoo, serving their country.
Is that what they call it? Is that something that's a military term, like I got your 6 or something, like that? Or is that just the title of the song?
It's just the title of the song, but I felt, tattoos are very prominent and all over the world, and I just wanted to, kind of touch on the fact that, there's another form of a tattoo out there, but the fact that these folks have come back scarred. That's their scar. Their tattoo is their scar from either being shot up or psychological scar. That's their tattoo there. They've been scarred psychologically. And so just my way of showing appreciation for these folks that have dedicated their lives and done so much for us, that me and Ronnie McDowell decided that, hey, we appreciate them, and we're going to let them know we got a song for them, let them know we appreciate them immensely, and there's a place for them that all these proceeds go to help these folks.
Now, I'm not a country music aficionado, but I do know that name, Ronnie McDowell. What was his famous song in the 70s? I remember, but it's not coming to me.
Watching girls go by, me, oh my, what a lovely way to spend the afternoon. That was one of them he did. He did a big tribute. He did a big tribute to The King Is Gone when Elvis passed away.
Oh, what was that one?
It was called The King Is Gone, and that was his initial big song that got him started. And then he had so many big hits back in the 70s and 80s. It's just, we had to hear at our bar when we did the show.
Was that Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places?
That's Johnny Lee.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, darn it. Sorry, Ronnie McDowell. But I know that name. I mean, I'm not a country person, but you hear that name and I immediately know that that's a country music singer. So he's made that transition over in my mind. Now, what is this? Is this this nonprofit organization, the Love Tattoo Foundation? Is that something you started? And what does the proceeds go to do?
Well, me and my wife started the foundation, and there's a place in Michigan called the Whirlwind Lodge. It's upstate Michigan, Custer, Michigan, where it currently resides. And once a year, we do a concert up there, and we raise money for folks in and around the entire country. If you're a veteran anywhere from World War II to current, you are welcome there. And if you happen to have, a disability or in need of some medical procedures, or if you need to be talking about a psychologist or somewhere, and you've been a military folks, there's a place for you folks. And we're that's our little way of giving back, to let them people know that there's a place for these fine folks, because I understand that suicide is a very real thing in our military men and women. So let them folks know that there's a place for them if they've ever thought that way, to get them some help. And that's just our little way of giving back.
Isn't that wonderful? So is the website lovetattoofoundation.org, or what's the website for that?
Yeah, you can get that. You can go straight to the website, lovetattoofoundation.org, or you can go to the Richard Lynch Band, and you can scroll down and see, you can get to Love Tattoo Foundation from our website as well.
And on this website, we can donate. Can we donate money, or can you
Sure,
donate?
And it's tax deductible. And the most important thing is just to make awareness that there is a place for these folks, and if they feel, if they feel like they're struggling, or if they feel like they need some help, just contact the Whirlwind Lodge there in Michigan, and they will accept you. They will keep you there for a week, 2 weeks. You can bring your wife, you can bring your dog. It's just some place that 1,200 acres of relaxing and recreation, where they can get their heads together and talk with people and maybe get them on the right track again.
My God, this, when you say acres, it sounds like they'd be going to a nice spa. Sign me up. I want to go. I've been battered in my mind. I batter myself when I put high heels on. I want to go to the 12 acres. I torture myself trying to put my girdle on. I think I qualify. Oh my God. But seriously, this sounds fantastic. I really want everybody to go to the website. It is, again, lovetattoofoundation.org. And what part of Michigan would be closest to be able to help people? Like, is it Dearborn, or, what part of Michigan?
Well, if you look at the state of Michigan, just before you get into the Upper Peninsula, there's that beautiful, big, massive bridge. It's about 50 or 60 miles south of the Upper Peninsula.
Okay. All right. So there you go. So this would be very, very helpful for people in Michigan that could actually travel there. And fantastic. So lovetattoofoundation.org. Now, there's also a video for that song, right? Love Tattoo. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, me and Ronnie McDowell just got through doing a video together. We did a show in Nashville back in early January, and we raised some money for our veterans, and, that was a huge success. And the video is also a contribution to our folks that need some help.
Okay, so everybody, you want to see the video with Ronnie McDowell, go to YouTube and type in Love Tattoo, I assume? Love Tattoo?
That's correct.
Love Tattoo. Okay. Now, we're almost done. We got like 3 minutes, but I really like that you said this in your bio. I read this in your bio, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so true. It said that you said in a world of fabricated country stars that you stand out in the crowd as a proud member of the last of a dying breed, the pure country music artist. What do you mean by a world of fabricated country stars? Now, I know a world of fabricated pop stars and rock stars and all hip-hop stars, but what did you mean by this?
Well, in the sense that they've lost touch with respect for the traditional music. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying today's music is bad. I'm just saying that they don't have much feel for traditional music. And you never hear a steel guitar anymore.
Oh my gosh!
In today's music.
Richard, my husband and I we've been talking about this for years. He's a software developer by day, but on the weekend, he's a jazz musician, a guitar player. And we were talking about how you don't even hear guitar in songs today, like any songs, like no songs. You are hard pressed if it's not jazz or anything like that. You're not going to hear it in pop songs. You're not going to hear it in music. What happened to the days where you had a Leonard Skinner solo, or you had a 5-minute guitar solo, or Heart, Barracuda, or something like that? You don't hear guitar. It's almost like the guitarist is like gone, antiquated position. So I understand what you're saying, but go on. You got me emotional there, Richard. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to put some respect and some flavor of the years gone by, to where, there's so many folks that are listening and wanting to hear that traditional sound, a steel guitar, some fiddles, and, hey, maybe some lyrics that's got a storyline that people can relate with. It's just something that they can relate with. Like from the old days when you had the George Jones is on top, and the Conway Twitties, and the even Waylon Jennings, and all those great songs and great singers from that era. There's so many people that would like to have a little bit of that flavor back in today's country music.
I know. Why did they have to get rid of the guitar? Of all the instruments to get rid of, why is it that the guitar is the instrument that we don't hardly hear anymore? It just sounds so, digital. Music sounds digital. Richard, I just haven't liked any music since 1989, so I don't know about all the music today. I mean, once in a while, a couple things come along, but very, very rarely. I mean, I was just watching the Grammys. I don't know why I watch it, because I don't know one damn person on the Grammys. I don't know if you watch it, but I try to watch it just to stay relevant and to know the names of what's going on, because I'm in the entertainment industry. And I'm watching the Grammys, Richard, and it's all of these young teeny boppers, and you know what they're called? YouTube stars. They're YouTube stars. I'm like, what? So you got these kids, God bless them. It's a whole different world now, Richard. It's a whole different world. You get on YouTube. Hey, which actually I guess we could end up giving advice. You get a YouTube, put some YouTube videos on, and you can become a star. You just need to get hits. But it's like these people do music on YouTube, and if they get 1 million, 2 million hits, how the hell they get them, I don't know. But you too can become a country music star or a pop star, and then you can go to the Grammys and you win a damn Grammy. How is that possible? They don't even do
really
tours.
Sure.
They don't even do tours, Richard. They just are on YouTube and they win a Grammy. How is this possible?
You're singing my song now. I'm scratching my head, But ironically enough, here's something I find amazing. We were actually nominated for a Grammy Award this year with the song "A Better Place," and didn't make it to the final, induction for the Grammy show, but just finally being mentioned and considered for a Grammy Award. That's pretty gratifying if you think about it.
Oh my! No, I don't know why I wasn't told this. And you know what? You need to revamp your bio, because that needs to be like at the top of the list when I'm reading your bio. That is very important, Richard Lynch. That is, come on, nominated for a Grammy. That needs to lead off your bio.
Well,
revamp. Get your team working on it, Richard. That's fantastic. Congratulations. My God, do you know how hard that is? You know what? It's great to be nominated. You don't have to win. Just being nominated is good enough, right?
Absolutely. But it also shows that there's a huge interest in that resurgence of traditional country music. And there's the direction that I think a lot of folks need to kind of focus on. And, even though we didn't get the award and didn't get mentioned on the Grammy, we had someone mention us and nominate us. And that's so huge, just to even be in that category. I'm so thankful for that.
And was this a song you wrote or you played on, or?
Yeah, it's the song. It's the title cut of our current album. It's called "A Better Place" album, and that's the title cut of it. And we recorded that in Nashville. Mr. Billy Yates produced it and wrote most of the songs for me there. And we had a huge European success in Airplay. As a matter of fact, that song had been aired in 32 countries. Now that's amazing.
Wow! Oh my God! And you were nominated for a Grammy. I'm still excited about it. Wow! Well, you know what? Next time you come on the show, I think you're going to have an actual Grammy. You're going to be a Grammy winner to add to my list of Grammy winners that have been on the show. I have high hopes for you, Richard Lynch. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and spending time with us today. You are a joy. You are lovely, a lovely man. And I wish you the most success in the world. And please come back when you're ready to promote your next song or your next album. Feel free. You can contact me directly or have Michael contact me. But would you please come back on the show?
We would love to, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. It's folks like you that give me the ambition and the direction to keep going. And, all your listeners out there, they know what a jewel you are. They wouldn't be listening to you. So you got a fan on this end, too.
Woo! Well, Richard Lynch, my little PB&J, you have a fantastic day, and you keep rocking and rolling in the country world, and I am a big fan, and I am going to add your song to my playlist, and I think everybody should add it, and if you don't have it, go and buy it. It is called... It's for you. We're American Proud.
We're American Proud.
Yeah, We're American Proud by Richard Lynch. Go get it now and go to his website, richardlynchband.com. Say goodbye to your fans, Richard.
Thanks, Sam. We'll see you now.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona. right here on LA Talk Radio.